Started, and welcome to the TNA Post Show. As always, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the star of the show, the one and only Bert Maclin.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. We have a lot to talk about. Last night's Victory Road was incredible, and we apologize to anybody who was waiting on the review last night. It got really late by the time I finished the show, so we just opted to wait to today to review the show.
What a show it was! Show of the year candidate. I think best show of the year for TNA, but I think it should be talked about when I think it's Wrestling Observer does their rankings for show of the year. I think this should be up there.
It definitely should be. And you know something? I really loved how the show looked visually. Visually, it looked really great. That's how the weekly show should look every week.
Yeah, the presentation seemed very like a step up from what it has been, and it looked very professional in terms of that looked like a major league show. And yeah, going forward, it should look like that.
Yeah, it really should. I liked it. I loved it. Everything, the visual, the lighting, the audience, the way the audience was positioned. Fucking great visual show.
Definitely.
All right. So Victory Road kicked off with I should say the countdown to Victory Road kicked off with Leon Slater versus Kushida. I thought this was an incredible match. I feel like Leon Slater and Kushida have similar styles, so it was a very even match. Kushida was victorious after he hit that Spanish fly in the armbar to Slater. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a rematch for this. I kind of thought that maybe Jonathan Gresham would come out and renew their rivalry, but I guess that's done with because this was a clean finish. But overall, great way to kick off the countdown.
Well, it seems like they keep alluding to that they're not maybe dropping this character with Gresham, but just to add your point, but I hope that they're still doing something with that.
Same. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of character.
Yes.
So next we get a very interesting Josh Alexander interview. And the reason why this intrigued me was because Josh Alexander actually quoted Ethan Page's theme song when he says it's not ego, it's confidence. As you know, that's a lyric in Ethan Page's theme song in NXT.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it is. So I wonder that, there's where there's fire, there's smoke. So who knows? And so the last match we got on the countdown to Victory Road was Steve Maclin and Eric Young versus Jake Something and Hammerstone. So I know I bitched and complained about Jake Something and Hammerstone being a tag team, but they actually did a really great job. They had a couple, because this was the first time teaming together, they did have a few miscommunications during the match, but it really didn't seem to affect them as they were victorious here. And I like the fact that Hammerstone did the Chotorak to Steve Maclin and Jake Something did the Into the Void to Eric Young. I'm glad they won. I feel like they needed the victory more so than Steve Maclin and Eric Young. But you know what? I think this pairing is starting to grow on me. It's definitely a meat pairing. That's for sure.
Yeah. Team Steak, definitely. Like we predicted them, we wanted them to win, and it's even more. While I wanted them to get the win, more so for them individually when they cut the promo and Jake Something and them just playing off each other. And yeah, no one's going to be able to beat them. And I know I said that I wanted Top Flight to be your next champions, and why I still would like that.
Top Flight? You're getting your tag teams confused here.
Top Flight. Yeah, First Class. Thank you. Well, I wanted First Class to be champions. I definitely think this is the team that you should put the tag team titles on. And I know, ABC's not. We know we got new champs, but this is who should be the champs. This promo was very good. Yeah, Team Meat. I definitely like this pairing.
Same, me too. And they did cut a promo later on during Victory Road, which we'll talk about when we get there. All right. So Joseph says they look great as a team. More reps. I could see them going for the titles one day. Oh, definitely. I don't know how long this pairing will be, but I definitely hope that they win the tag titles for as long as they're a pair.
Yeah.
Speaking of First Class, First Class versus the Hardys kicked off the main card. I thought this was a really fun match. First off, I can't help but to think that maybe Well, I don't want to say First Class is being punished here because of Rich Swann, but they have not been doing well as a tag team since Rich Swann was suspended. You know, they're just on a losing streak here because they lost to the Hardys when, in my opinion, First Class should have won this match.
Well, yeah, we both said that, but I think that their wins are going to come from maybe some of the lesser teams. They just happen to lose to two of the top teams, so maybe I expect them to start racking up some wins. They are a new team. This iteration of of First Class.
First Class,
yeah, this is and again, I think that them losing to the Hardys, we had heard Matt and them say that they are looking for gold, and so I think that I don't have a problem with them necessarily losing the Hardys, even though I wanted First Class to win.
Same. I think First Class should have won. Let's see. Joseph says, I've been wondering the same thing. Is First Class being punished? They should have beaten the Hardys. I am a Hardy Boys fan, but they didn't need the win. Actually, now that I think about it, them winning kind of makes sense considering who won the tag titles, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
When we get to that match. So next we had, in my opinion, which was the match of the night, the X Division title match, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Zachary Wentz. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, because we're talking about this match, and not this is from a move set from from the type of matches I love. Yes, this was the match of the night for me, but we'll get into it a little bit later. But I thought there was a match later in the show that, from a heat perspective and from the crowd standpoint, was a little bit better. But yeah, no, this was my match of the night for sure.
Oh yeah, this was an incredible match. Great showcase of the X Division. I have to say, I was a little surprised that Speedball Mike Bailey won here. I thought Zachary Wentz was going to retain. He has such a short reign. I'm not usually a big fan of them hot potatoing the title, but maybe something's going to happen with Zachary Wentz and Wes Lee that they probably didn't want him to lose as X Division champion.
This kind of pissed me off just because now it's just almost like, did they put the belt on Wentz just to kind of get the image of him being on the belt being on him when he had in front of that huge NXT crowd? You know what I'm saying? And then just to kind of have him have that big week. And then also too, I don't know why Mike Bailey needs to be X Division champion again. Just because why they took it off in the first place. Now he's 3-time champ. Okay. But the only reason I can think of is maybe the main event scene is just so crowded he would get lost in the shuffle, them putting him in there right now.
I mean, I was surprised. I think everybody was surprised. Even Joseph says, this stunned me. I didn't think Speedo would be a 3-time TNA X Division champion. Felt like Zach was only champ just to show the belt off at No Mercy. Which is what you said.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, the match itself was great. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I was just a little confused by the outcome. I'm like, I like May Bailey. Don't get me wrong. I like May Bailey. But I just feel like this should have been Zachary's match to retain.
I thought so too, just because I thought that the Rascals had a lot of momentum, and especially Zachary right now. So I'm a little confused, but we'll see where they go.
Smoke them if you got them. Which you got them.
And you know what? I think because the plan always could be that they're going to win the NXT tag titles. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That always the possibility going down the road. And, because I don't know why they didn't get that match, but they may still get it. So that could be the plan.
Yeah, that could be. Well, I guess we just got to wait and see.
Yes.
All right, so we get a system segment, and they're just basically talking about how we're gonna get a system reboot. And Moose called Nic Nemeth a big head blonde bitch. I was like, dang, he went there.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. And basically, Lish said that she's the queen of the system, and the Spitfire was gonna die tonight, which we all know what happened, but we'll get to that. So next, we were supposed to get a tag team match, Rhino and PCO versus Matt Cardona and Steph Delander. Before we get into that, Steph Delander did cut a promo where she's talking about basically her journey from Australia to TNA. And apparently she needs neck surgery. I didn't know this. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I thought I actually really liked this promo. It was really heartfelt. You could tell like she she was speaking from the heart, and it just sucks, because I wonder where her whole storyline was supposed to go, and for Ed to kind of just abruptly end like this, it sucks.
It also too just kind of sucks because, and obviously I would think it's because of the way that they tape that it kind of just feels like a waste. But you know what I mean. This is the opportunity for them to cut. You know what I mean, to cut the promo and let us know. But yeah, this does suck. I hope she's back. It does suck because I think she had a lot of momentum and there's a lot of potential with her. But yes, we wish her the best and we hope she's back.
Yeah, we do. We wish her the best, and hopefully we see her again in TNA.
Yeah.
But PCO did get a new theme song.
Oh, he did? I didn't notice.
Yeah, he got a new theme song. I dig it.
Okay.
But this match, pretty much after that, doesn't really take place. But you had Mark Cardona hitting a low blow to Rhino and then a radio silence. And, because SCL did beef with PCO.
Now, see, I'm interested to see because I did think that I didn't foresee him being in TNA much longer, but I'm interested to see if this is the last time we see him.
Matt Cardona?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question, because now that Steph, the STL, is injured, I do question if he's going to stay, because, his whole story, I'm sure the whole reason he came back was to do a storyline with her.
Yeah, so what's his purpose for being there now?
Exactly, unless he still takes the digital media title from PCO.
See, yeah, that is true. I could see that, but at the same time, I just kind of feel that he's waiting to get the call from WWE. So, you know what I mean? I don't know if they putting a belt on him at this time would be smart. Just, especially if he has to drop it out of nowhere.
Yeah. It says, there are reports that Steph will be out 6 to 10 months for her neck injury. Yeah, Matt has wanted to go back to WWE. What does Matt gain without Steph in TNA?
Yes, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, because this run feels more important for Steph and not Matt. Matt helped Steph get a title shot at Rebellion. That's true. Mm-hmm. So, we'll have to wait and see. But I think you're right. I think this might be the last time when we see Matt Cardona. Oh, actually, maybe we might see him one more time. But if not, I guess this was his way of wrapping up the storyline.
There's always a possibility if he goes to WWE and then he maybe in the NXT and we see him that way. But you know what I mean? I don't know if we see him again.
Yeah. I guess we just gotta wait and see. All right, so we get a Nic Nemeth interview, and he's just basically talking about how he's gonna walk out as fighting TNA World Champion. Good promo by Nic Nemeth. So hyping up the main event. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, his promos have been good since he's been there. So it wasn't Nic Nemeth promo. This was fine.
Yeah. So next we get the Knockouts Tag Team title match. It's Masha, Slamovich, and Tasha still taking the place of Lish versus Spitfire. Remember, it was do or die for Spitfire. They had to win or they would have to split up. Commentary pointed out that Tasha Steelz was wearing the same gear she wore at Summerversary 2022 for Queen of the Mountain.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. That's awesome. That's really cool detail.
Same. All right, so we have to talk about the ending here because, okay, so Spitfire won, and they pinned Masha Slamovich here. And it's so interesting because like Lish wasn't happy. She was not happy. She yelled at her and she slapped her. And Masha almost attacked Lish, but then Tasha Steelz dropped her with a cutter. And Lish ordered Steelz to attack Masha. So it seems like from now on, Lish going forward is going to be in a tag team with Tasha Steelz, and maybe we're going to get a Masha singles run again.
Yeah, this was one of the really good booking moves I thought that TNA made last night, just because it was I think it was pretty well known that I thought that, and everyone thought that Spitfire wasn't going to break up and they were going to win. But just, I thought we wanted Masha and Alicia, we want them to split up because that's losing their team. But the way that you get the substitution of Alicia not being able to be there, Tasha takes her place, they turn on her, and now it kind of seems like you get Tasha with the system. With, in all honesty, I think she fits more just because, you know what I mean? The attitude just feels like she belongs in the system, opposed to Masha, who I don't think should be in a need. You know what I mean? She would need to have a faction behind her or having people help her. So now you need to build her up, and then and then we keep a team hopefully with Tasha and Lish, so we don't lose any teams. So I like this.
Same, I like it too. Joseph says, not surprised to put the titles back on Spitfire. They had to back out of the ship with Lish hurt. Yeah, I question if this was supposed to be the way things are supposed to play out, or if they played out this way because Lish is technically hurt,
Also, too, and just like I said, I think bigger picture it plays in. Giselle's leaving. We might lose Jordynne. They need to start building up someone. I think Masha still is the most credible person. You know what I mean? That should be like the next person that they build the division around is Masha. Like the singles division is Masha. So hopefully, I'm hopefully maybe we see a BFG tournament. If that's the case, you should run through that and then beat Jordynne. You know what I mean? I think the time is now. The time she should have won before. But now, you know what I mean? It's not like she's been taking a lot of losses. Just she hasn't been a focal point. But the time is now. She needs to beat Jordynne.
Yeah, she should. She needs to get her win back.
Yes.
All right. So next we get a Jake something and Hammerstone. They're doing a promo, and they said that this is just the beginning, and this is a statement that Steve Maclin and Eric Young were the first on the list, and anyone who gets in their way will suffer the exact same fate. So I actually really dug this. I think that they have potential to be a really great team, a meat team, and definitely be tag team champions for sure.
Team steak and eggs. Yeah, I really do like this. They should just beat people's asses on the way to winning the tag team titles.
I agree.
Just because they weren't really doing anything with Jake something. And people, you could say that really what was Hammerstone doing at the same time either. So, yeah, put the tag team titles on them.
Exactly, I agree. You get a Joe Hendry promo. It's your typical Joe Hendry promo before his match, so I'm not going to get that much into it. But I thought this was great. I always love Joe Hendry promos before his match. So you get Joe Hendry versus Josh Alexander. I was really surprised by the way this match ended because I did not think that this match was going to end the way that it did. I really liked the fact that Josh Alexander low blew Joe Hendry, and then Joe Hendry pulled out a cup with his face on it. That was like the most hilarious thing ever.
I like how this match started too. Joe Hendry just went right into it. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of comedy. You know what I mean? Like this was very serious. And yeah, like I said, this is the match I was talking about. Just to hear around this match, the crowd was so loud, especially because at the one point when Joe put on the ankle lock, just the crowd lost it. This was a great match.
I agree. Um, Josh Alexander, you could argue and say he tapped out twice because one time the ref was down and Josh tapped, so the ref didn't see. But the second time he did tap out. This is the first time that I can recall that Josh Alexander loses by submission. No.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm trying to think where that now you could argue where this kind of sucks because now Josh has lost 2 big matches. Now he said he taps for the first time, which I can't remember happening. Basically taps to his own move. And then before he lost in a match that he's supposed to be a king, the Iron Man match. So where do they go from here? Because you could also argue that it's not like Joe Hendry needed to win this. Like they're supposed to be building Josh to be this like badass heel, and now he loses 2 matches in a row.
I kind of thought that Joe Hendry was actually going to lose this, and that they were going to go on to have a rematch at Bound for Glory.
I thought so too, because I think long term the story should have paid off too with maybe Joe beating him for the title. I didn't think Joe needed to win this because I thought because right when Joe, I was fine with Joe getting kicked and then pulling on the cup, but I still think the match should have ended with a low blow and Josh continuing to cheat to win. I thought Josh should have won.
Yeah, and not saying that I'm not happy Joe Hendry won. Of course I'm happy Joe Hendry won. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in 252 pounds of pure motivation, the answer to all of life's problems, I believe in Joe Hendry. But I still think that Josh Alexander should have won this, and you give Joe Hendry his moment at Bound for Glory.
Definitely. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, so. But nevertheless, a big win for Joe Hendry.
Yes.
All right, so next we get the TNA World Tag Team title match. It's the System versus ABC. And considering that the Hardys won their match against First Class and they're after the tag titles, when you think about it, it's no surprise the System won. Because had the System lost, you would have the Hardys versus ABC. And I think that if the Hardys are going to win the belts, the tag belts, it makes much more sense for them to take it off the System, because remember, the System put Jeff Hardy out of action and they attacked Rebecca. So it makes more sense that the System won here.
Yeah, and I think we're headed towards, at the very least, a short Hardy tag team title run. So, yeah. And then at the same time, I'm glad that the ABC lost and didn't have, a breakup. But now if the plan is for them not to be in the tag team division, I would definitely like to see them both move up to either digital media and heavyweight or digital, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I'm fine with the System winning just because the System reboot I think has been good just to keep them relevant. So I like this.
They're like, oh yeah, when Jeff couldn't go to Canada due to his past, they used the System to take them out. Now it makes sense why ABC lost. Yeah, you can say that's the reason why they lost. All right, so next we get the Knockouts World Title match: Jordynne Grace versus NXT's Wendy Choo. This was a good match. Obviously Jordynne Grace is going to win this, and then Rosemary speared Jordynne at the end. And then we got Wendy Choo put the sleeper on Jordynne Grace. So obviously Rosemary and Wendy Choo are probably they're a tag team, it seems, and maybe they might go after the Knockouts tag titles here, but it's definitely no surprise that Jordynne Grace won this match.
That's at least you. So that's what I'm saying. You've at least got, and yeah, first off, Jordynne, I think, no doubt, I think you can say that at the very least the best women's wrestler in the U.S. and then as a whole one of the best wrestlers in the world. But yeah, it's pretty hard to have a bad match with Jordynne. I thought this was one of Wendy's better matches, and so now, yeah, like you said, we've got at least we've got two teams, the two we saw in the match tonight. We know they could be doing something with Heather Reckless and Ash, and then now Rosemary and Wendy Choo. So I do like this.
Same. Curious to see where this goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it leads to a knockout tag team title shot.
Yes.
So next we get, in my opinion, an adorable segment with Santino Marella and his daughter Ariana Grace. I thought this was such a sweet moment. He tells her he's so proud of her. He gives you this big hug. Oh, this segment really warmed my heart.
This was probably my favorite moment of the night. This was so funny too. You could tell comedy runs in the family. He was so funny. The way that he kept pronouncing liaison wrong. This was so cool. I like it.
Was. Justice says, I could see Rosemary challenging Jordynne at Bound for Glory. Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was a cute segment. I like it. I hope we get more interaction between Santino and his daughter.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, this is Tyra Forever, Tatum, and Lyra is supposed to face Wendy and Rosemary Tuesday on NXT. Maybe we'll find out what's next. Well, you let me know because I don't watch NXT. So the main event was the TNA World Title match. It was Nic Nemeth versus Moose. I thought this was a good match. JBL once again making his presence known by helping Nic Nemeth during this match. And Nic Nemeth is victorious. He finally got his win back over Moose. So what are your thoughts on this?
Okay. This was a great match. This was a 9 out of 10 card, like top to bottom. Like I said, TNA Show of the Year should be mentioned in the Show of the Year category, in which whoever's doing the rankings for whichever publication or website, whatever, podcast. Yeah, no, this was good. And tell me who did we pick to win this last night?
I don't recall. I think we picked. Did we pick Moose? I don't recall.
Well, I think we have to mention real quick, because I think we know who the next challenger is going to be. And he was one of the best. Kazarian on commentary was killing me last night. Him and Ray Walt, who shout out to Ray, the whole TNA team. I think Gia and Ray Walt both got mentioned in the categories for like top backstage announcer and color commentator. But Ray Walt and Kazarian were just burying Hannafin last night. Like, they were calling him a mark, and he was asking him how he deals with this. And like, it was so funny. And I think the plan now is Kazarian and Nemeth. And I would put the title on Kazarian. I don't think that, because I think Nemeth continues to be on, short deals. And I do think Kazarian deserves a run. It doesn't have to be a long run. But I think that's probably the next title defense for Nic Nemeth. I would assume.
I definitely do think Moose's next feud is with Mike Santana, considering Mike Santana, you can say cost him this match.
And I also, and you mentioning that, you could also have Nemeth saying thank you by giving Santana a match. Santana doesn't have to win that, but that also could be a match. But I definitely just think that Nemeth and Kazarian is where it's going, because they have had some interactions in the past. And, I think it's time for Kazarian to be world champion. They keep bringing up the history of how he was in the first Ultimate X match, and how he should be champion, and I think that's where they go.
He reminds us every week that he's the king of TNA.
Yeah. He makes sure that that Jay tells us too. So.
Although it ain't a coincidence, Frankie was on commentary with 6 episodes to BFG. Do they put to Frankie versus Nemeth at BFG or do it on TV? Yeah, Santana challenged Johnny Curtis to a Texas death match at some point. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting match, that Texas death match. But just real quick, yeah, Frankie on commentary was hilarious. I think when Nemeth bit Moose, he was like, have you guys ever had elk or moose?
Yeah, and what did he say too? He's like, he kept saying, he was like, Moose is pretty dumb too. Like, he was just burying like classic heel shit.
Yeah, this is great.
So,
Frankie,
what were we saying? Yeah, what were we saying?
Oh, Frankie Kazarian needs to be on commentary more often.
So, 6 episodes to BFG. Let's hope if we get a tournament. Not only is there 6 episodes to BFG, 6 episodes of Impact, that also means that there's 6 episodes of Explosion, which could potentially be 12 matches if they put 2 on there, and those could be tournament matches. So that's not really a long time to build a tournament, but still, like, they need to do something to make BFG feel big. Because I've always thought of Bound for Glory as the biggest show of the year. I don't know if they say that is it, or Slammiversary.
I think Slammiversary is the biggest show of the year into them.
Okay, but yeah, Bound for Glory was always felt big to me, just because when I started watching TNA, they did have the tournament. But yeah, 6 episodes to go. Let's see what happens. I think we have a clear direction on a few feuds.
Definitely. Overall, I feel like Victory. I was say tonight's when it was last night. I feel like Victory was, for it being a TNA Plus special, was such a great special. Visually, it looked great. It had a really great countdown to a countdown show. This was fantastic. I think this has been one of the best TNA Plus specials that they've done in a long time.
Yeah, and are they doing any tapings there, or?
Yeah, I think they taped today.
Yeah, so the crowd looked great. I can't wait to see what the taping looked like. And yeah, it'd be so awesome if that's just from a presentation point, the crowd being lit up. Let's just hope this is what it looks like, because yeah, it looked like the big times last night.
It did. It looked fantastic.
So
yeah, they did set a tapings. I'm sure we'll carry over to TV. Yeah, hopefully it does. Yeah, it looked great. All right, Bert, where can people find you as we get ready to sign off?
Just on X at Maclin 11.
All right. I think they would do one more before BFG. Not sure. I don't think there's any more shows between Victory Road and BFG. I think the next one is Bound for Glory.
Yeah, the October show is Bound for Glory, and then Final Resolution. No, they have the show in November at Wrestle. I forget which one that show is at WrestleCade. And Turning Point, and then Final Resolution in December. So
yeah. All right. You can check me out on Twitter at @the_talk all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, TNA. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays over on my YouTube channel, Rangers of Wrestling. If you like Power Rangers, I also do Power Rangers. And for all things TNA, you can find us here every Thursday. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever we go live or whenever Body Slam goes live. And we'll see you guys next week for the Fallout to Victory Road. Bye.